release on the front page. There you have it. All right. On the front page of our Star newspaper, Uhuru linked to 40 million shillings Azimio protest budget. Uhuru linked to 40 million shillings Azimio protest budget. Ruku accuses Kenyatta and Raila of sabotaging his government using demos. That is also on the front page of the Star newspaper. According to sources, the ex-president's office and family have so far denied opposition funding claims. That is on the front page of the Star newspaper. Of course, there's also a story here of our colleague Merab, who passed on. Merab was working with the Daily Nation. Of course, we pass our condolences to our colleagues in the media and to the family of Elizabeth Merab, who passed on a day ago after battling sickle cell anemia over the years. Mercy upon her. All right. So on the front page, let me start with Geoffrey, Ruku, Member of Parliament, Mbeere North, already in studio. Mheshimiwa, good morning. Good to see you once again.
Good morning. Thank you.
How is Mbeere doing so far? Let me start with that.
Mbeere is quite okay. Of course, we have quite a number of challenges of water infrastructure.
Yes.
Our schools, but this is something we have a plan to work on, and we are pushing very well.
All right. Justina Wamae, for the first time joining us on KBC Channel 1. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Victor.
Some of my colleagues are also happy to see you because you are, most of them, you're a role model to them.
I'm humbled.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
The 40 million shillings linked to Azimio protest budget. Mheshimiwa Ruku, this is mostly coming from Kenya Kwanza. I'm not able to ascertain this. How true is this info on the front page of the Star newspaper?
That is true, 100% true. The government has machinery to know what is happening. Of course, we have intelligence within our country, and there are many intelligence networks working in Kenya. I don't want to mention them, but of course, we know most of them. We have Mossad here in Kenya, we have FBI here in Kenya, we have CIA here in Kenya, we have all the intelligence network of the world, of different countries, are here in Kenya. So nothing that you can do, whether you are politician or a private citizen, and think that it is not, it's a big secret. Nothing is secret in today's world. So it is clear that Uhuru Kenyatta has been financing the demonstration from the beginning up to now. Of course, they are working very closely. They were working very closely from 2018 to now with Raila Odinga, and we know their intention is to destabilize Kenya Kwanza government, to destabilize our country for the intentions which are not known. Because you cannot build infrastructure. Uhuru Kenyatta is the one who constructed this express highway here. He did quite a number of projects within the nation, and you cannot do all that, then you want to destroy. You can't cut your nose to spite your face. You know, it's something which is not good for the nation. But we are telling Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga and Azimio group that this is the last time this kind of politics is going to happen in our republic. It's going to be painful for, let's say, the remaining part of this year, probably up to December. But we are ready to go through the process.
Okay.
Because the politics of blackmail, conmanship has to come to an end.
Somebody is saying
because
that
if you remember,
this is a ploy to shift goals and run away from the real debate right now.
Kenya Kwanza administration has put in place strategies and programs to ensure the cost of living in our country comes down. They are serious program. We passed a very progressive finance bill. We passed for the first time since independence a very well coordinated budget within the value chain process, which has never been done in the past. So there are strategies in place, programs in place to ensure the cost of living comes down. Of course, you have seen the job creation. The government employed 30,000 teachers, is employing another 20,000 that 5,000 teachers now is employing 20,000 teachers. The government is doing all what it can be able to do to ensure the cost of edible oils, the prices of edible oils, because this has been, there was state capture in the past in the edible oil industry. We know the senior government officials, very senior in the last government, have shares in some companies like Bidco, like Menengai, and such kind of companies, which produces rockery edible oils. Can you imagine someone going to court to petition the government that by putting that 5% import levy is good for the nation?
Okay.
You know, it's crazy.
Let me start with, let me come to Justina. Let me just get your voice on this. This sounds more of, this is alarming. What's your take on this headline?
First, I want to declare interest that I'm neither in Azimio nor in Kenya Kwanza.
Very well.
But when I look at the whole conversation, this country needs a middle ground. And that is what the 8 million who never voted in the last year's election were saying. Because Kenya Kwanza and Azimio are just pulling and pushing, and then they're shifting blames. The fact remains that Kenya Kwanza is now in government. They owe Kenyans duty of care, duty of peace, and duty of tranquility. Azimio does not owe Kenyans anything. In fact, Kenyans had said we don't want housing levy, we don't want the 16% VAT on fuel. They spend so much money on public participation in hotels and everywhere. A government that is saying that they inherited a dilapidated economy. So what becomes the voice of the Kenyan? And that is where Azimio is pretending that they are fighting for Kenyans, but they are not. Even claiming that Uhuru is giving them money. Forgetting the fact, what is the issue? The cost of living is high. Why not bite the bullet and give Kenyans fuel incentives for now, or the subsidies that were there? Why not bite the bullet and say, Kenyans have said they don't want houses? Is it a must they force Kenyans to things they do not want? In as much as it was in their manifesto. And that is why I challenge the media. Going forward the next election, once people are declared that these are the presidential candidates, at least have an open conversation with professionals analyzing a manifesto. Because now Kenya Kwanza is saying, we had told you about housing. But you know, the question of how are they funding never came into play. So the Kenyan didn't know what they were signing up for. So I think the whole issue is a blame game, and we need a middle ground in this country. We need an alternative voice that is saying that these two, remember, they were for some time, like 10 years prior, Raila and Ruto were in the same area. They were in the same camp. Now again, because they're different camps, they are changing the voice. They are now fighting each other. We need a shift in the... Actually, the battle is not against the regime. It should be against the ruling class. Because I think all this is just trying to confuse the Kenyans. They are forgetting the plight of the ordinary Kenyans. Yes.
Okay. All right. We'll get into that. My question is, did Kenyatta truly fund Azimio? Okay, very fast.